let that one go. All right, the last thing that we need to talk about is, shall the town increase property tax levy of 1.462287 million with an LD1 override article? And I guess really the question is, where do we put the LD1?
You know, and we've discussed this some, but you know, you spread that out over a whole bunch of articles, and it gets very complicated and requires a whole bunch of different votes. You put it in one place, let's say such as the transfer station. It's voted down, and now all of a sudden you don't have a transfer station that's working. But I think, with all that, I think people are going to understand this, that the discussion will be there, that we put it all in one article, put it in the transfer station article, and if it's turned down, we need to look at some alternative stuff very quickly, and maybe have a what-if scenario going, so that people will know if it's voted down, what we do next.
I disagree. I think putting all of your eggs in one basket would be a very dangerous endeavor to take it at town meeting. I think that we have to spread this out a little bit so that we aren't in a position where we can't fund the transfer station.
How much are we talking?
245,000.
So it's not a few thousand like we've done before, right? Well,
And I think I would feel different if it was an amount that was workable, but if you take $245,000 out of the transfer station, what kind of an impact is that going to have?
Well, I guess if you spread that over 4 or 5 articles, it's going to render each one of those 4 or 5 articles unworkable.
well,
So-
I think you got to somewhere along the line. Listen, you know, we didn't ask to be, you know, cut as much as we've been cut. We're still going to use a significant amount of surplus going into this budget and everything else. Doug?
I would think that you would, is the paper bag going to go as a referendum?
Yes.
Then you will know at town meeting whether the paper bag passes or not.
Absolutely.
Because it'll go in ahead of time.
Yep.
If during your discussions between now and town meeting, you make it clear that if paper bag goes through, then the reduction in cost should equal well over $200,000. It did before, it should again. Your budget, there should be a cap on the transfer station of $300,000. That's it. Paper bag has to take care of everything above $300,000. Your request now is what, $609,000? Or you cut it back? Clint's original request was
Yeah,
$600,000.
we're back into like 525 or something.
So, you know, you're about at a balance point. And if the paper bag passes, I think that's just another way for you to go with the paper bag, and you say, if paper bag passes, then we can stay out of the LD1 override, and if it doesn't, then, you know, you've got an LD1 override that they've got to vote for. You've left it 100% up to the voter, and if you come at the end of the year, and the difference between 300,000 and 520-some thousand and 545,000, which is the 245 you're talking, would be $25,000 different, then you call a special town meeting and you ask the people to appropriate out of unexpended appropriations the difference that you need to do this. You know, the people had this choice before. The savings were there. They were ridden down a very slippery slope that proved to cost us about, so far as I can figure out, about $1.2 million that we could have been putting into our infrastructure. So I think it's time people really realize that, and I think that's the only way you're going to do it, is to put it out to them in that fashion.
I agree.
The beauty, I mean, I like that. The problem is that the $245,000, I'm not sure is going to, I don't believe will fund the pay-for-bag system that we've set up, giving the, looking at, let's say, $1 per bag and looking at giving 50 free bags per family. I'm not sure it's going to raise that amount of money.
I
It's
think,
gonna be the 50 or 55.
What's
It's
this?
gonna be the 50, you're gonna,
Well, you know,
comes
that's,
by 5, it's either 50 or 55.
Yeah.
50
Well,
is
they think-
high.
well, I mean, the thing is, that does it, you've crunched the numbers on this.
I think, first of all, I mean, that's certainly, I'm not sure that we gotta nail this down tonight, but the fact of the matter is, I think we need to sit and look at, if we go through with what we're talking about, I think we need to go through that very, very carefully to make sure that if one goes down and the other one, or if they both go down, that we don't get to a point where we have, okay, the transfer station's only open 9 months this year, right? So I think and I don't have a problem with laying it all at the feet of one article, but the fact of the matter is, you run a risk. But I think Doug is absolutely right. You're gonna know going into that town meeting what the risk is.
Yep. And that's why I was thinking about the one article. My concern is spreading it out. You say, okay, now the transfer station is in trouble, now the fire department is in trouble, now we've cut out some roads and they're in trouble.
The other thing with doing it, you gotta have 2 votes for every single article.
I called Nancy about 2 weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago. And I was riding, checking some of the water, and I stopped on the Ospey Hill Road. The misconception that the pay-for-bag caused trash to be distributed all over town is exactly a misconception. I counted 50 tires, 7 computers. How many bags of trash did I tell you? I told her how much stuff is on just the Ospey Hill Road. And this whole idea that this is pay-for-bag caused that is baloney. You can walk my pit up North Waterboro, Willie will attest to it, he went up there and hauled two refrigerators out of the middle road. And, stuff is being dumped now that isn't costing that much to get rid of, and it's always gonna cost money to get rid of, along with trash and...
Whether we had paper bag or not, that stuff is always finding its way to some of the back roads and the pits and everything else.
But more, Dennis, there's more of it now than there's been, and we haven't had paper bag. It hasn't cost people anything to go to the transfer station. Some of them say it's the limited hours the transfer station's open, the inconvenient hours they're open. For whatever reason, paper bag wasn't one of them.
It is easier to tie it to one article, because when you vote an override, then it's secret ballot, so it does take longer. But with the transfer station, having an article referendum, and then having the full budget on the article itself, warrant article, will the LD win? I mean, if it gets voted down on Tuesday, then Saturday you could go in and they would vote down the override.
They could do that.
Yep, they can do that, so your hands would be tied.
But that's the decision of the taxpayer, and the repercussions of that is that, and that's why I think we need to sit and kind of weigh that out. Repercussions are that something will change on what people will be able to get rid of, and when they will get rid of it
That's
for
right.
trash, period. Right? Want to cut local government down? Pretty good, easy way to do it, but guess what? When you do that, there is going to be a service that is not going to be available to you. So that's a risk, and it's all in the hands of the people.
I agree.
I think one of the messages that Nancy sent us this week was that she did want us to make a decision tonight because the town report's going to the printer on Thursday, and she wanted to include that in the town report.
Well, I mean, everything's not going to come to a screeching halt if the warrant is not in a town report. It'd be nice to have it there, but I don't think that we ought to do this without at least knowing what the ramifications are. So, and I don't have a problem if we got to get together tomorrow night or Thursday night and go through that with Clint. But it would be nice to have everything in hand.
So that we, if, however we come out with the pay-for-bag system, that we try to do that so it will fund the entire amount of the LD1 override. Is that,
Yeah, I think we
because
gotta,
then it can be, you can tell people, here it is, there's no LD1 override, you vote for this, and if you turn it down, then you've got an LD1 override, and you turn that down, then we have a serious interruption in services with the transfer station.
But if I understand correctly what the transfer station committee is saying, even with implementing a paper bag system, the amount of savings would not cover the entire LD1 override that we're looking to go into.
I didn't think so
it's
either.
gonna be
So we're
close.
still,
There's
So it
50,
didn't come close.
Right.
I mean, everybody would have to recycle max.
I think and that's, all I'm saying is I think we just need to weigh that out. I mean, I don't have a problem with, I guess even if you said that you spread it across 2 articles or something of that nature, because ultimately, it's gotta be a fairly significant article. We can't nickel dime this thing.
right.
It might, be, nickel dime, it might be the right thing to do, but unfortunately, I'm not sure that that's really the intent of the LD1 override is, oh, by the way, these next 24 articles are gonna have to be all LD1 overrides, because we could play that too, You could put it,
Out of that $245,000, if you cut that in half, or you put $150,000 in transfer station, now you've still got $95,000 or $90,000. Where are you going to put that without doing equal amount of devastation to an article as you would do to the transfer station? So, you've got several big areas. It's going to, because we are at we don't have any extra in there. Whatever article we put it on, it's going to render that ineffective for the year too.
And also the voters have the choice to start taking the 245,000 from Article 3, 4, whatever the first one is of the day,
Yep.
straight down through and not have a LD1.
Oh yeah, I mean they can reduce the articles as
the
they go along.
LD1,
That's
so everybody
explained right up
understands
front.
it. This LD1 represents about 33 cents a thousand on your taxes. So, 33 cents divided by 1060 out, 3%.
50 bags, and that's about $36,000 a ton.
Say again, I'm sorry.
If we give everybody resident
Yeah,
50 bags, it's going to be about $36,000 just to buy bags for that.
yeah, that's assuming that everybody, but that's not, if we went to tags, it would be 10% of that. That's why we've really been talking about the tags, because it's going to cost the town maybe $4,000. Because we can buy the tags for pennies
Because
versus,
the tags, though, you've got to have somebody run that station
Yep.
every minute.
yeah,
Another full-time person.
Well, you have to have somebody there monitoring
Right.
if you have bags too, or you're going to have people that are slipping in bags that don't
If you
belong.
had a bag that's one color, you can see that a mile away. Every
So
kind of bag in there.
what's your pleasure here?
I do have one question, Dennis. With the tags, how are we going to decipher the size of the bag per the tag?
At this point, that's a minor issue. All right,
Okay, I just
if-
wasn't
If the board has the ability anytime to implement or change the rules at the transfer station, the rules today say everything going in a hopper, household waste, has to be in a plastic bag. We don't define how big, right, but we could define how big. Really irrelevant to the referendum question of a paper bag, right? I mean, if we
Kinda.
well, but if we saw, I think if we did, and we've had this discussion, if we did the switch today, yes, you're gonna see some people go to the contractor's bag, But I will tell you that generally speaking, what you see going to that transfer station isn't even 33-gallon bags.
They don't give contractor bags away either.
Right.
Buy them,
Right.
So
So,
it's like having paper bag in itself.
right,
Bags that-
so you start,
Yeah.
when you really look at household bags, I mean, what's going in the transfer station, it's kitchen bag after kitchen bag after, you know, I mean, there's very few bigger bags that go in there now.
The bottom line is people have a choice, but they don't have a choice when it comes, they need to recycle. And you've said it, it's the only way to save this money. Your taxes are going up if you don't recycle.
Exactly.
Bottom line, it's that simple.
Sure.
And it's easy to do it.
Yep.
For every time we recycle, we save at least 88 bucks a month.
Yeah, we are one of the lowest recyclers right now. The numbers are available, they're put out every time you get them, they're put out there. 17% right now. Towns a lot more advanced than us are hitting 40, 30, 30s. There's no reason that we can't raise this stuff.
It's interesting when you talk to the people that don't recycle, the whys, and my parents, of all people, I argue with them so much, but, you know, it's like, well, we're just two people, so we don't make a difference. Well, you're just two people, but then the neighbors are just two people, and the people down the road are just two people, and the two people and the two people and the two people, they all add up. And then the other argument is, well, I pay my taxes to dispose of trash, so I can't be bothered with recycling, and what folks don't realize is the fact that they're not recycling is driving up the cost of the transfer station, which in turn is going to drive up taxes. And for those people that do recycle, they're having to pay for those that opt not to recycle.
It's funny because I have a family of 5. I go to trash every week on Friday. I bring 5 bags. 1 bag goes into the regular hopper, 4 go into recycle.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's
Not about
exactly,
one-
and that's, you know, people looking at, you know, well, I can't do that, 1 bag. Yes, you can.
Chris,
You can.
recycle.
There
Just
you
like
go.
Obama says, yes, you can.
Well, the only other thing that I see is our community is a bedroom community. People are gone all day. I do not think the hours there are promoting recycling, and I would like to see 1 or 2 nights a week open till probably 7 p.m.
Wednesday night?
Wednesday night.
There is one Wednesday night now? Okay.
Yeah, Wednesday
It's
night.
been for a while.
And we've also put the silver bullets now in different locations so that we've made it 24/7 that you
Right.
can recycle. And I understand
Can't get
the,
rid of your household waste 24/7.
Yep,
You can
but
get
you
rid of
can
recycling.
recycle.
And you reload recycling.
Yep.
So what's the pleasure? You want to, I mean, we can make a decision right now, we can scrub this, or?
I would, I'll make the motion to make the decision now to put it, to put this into the transfer station account. And then we can, this isn't part of the motion, that's the motion. The discussion of it is we can really get the numbers together in some workshops.
I second that.
Any further discussion?
Is
David?
that recycling going back in the total budget?
Yes. Now, it's in the total budget. No, I'm sorry. The transfer station recycler, or the compactor, is in a separate line item
Capital?
for capital. It's not in the operational cost of the transfer station.
How will that be voted?
That's going to be, that would be a tax vote. I think today, Nancy, the compactor is out of taxes, or out of, it's a separate warrant article, right? So that would not be out of.
One other
Taxation.
question or request, request from the board and the transfer station committee to educate as much as possible prior to the town meeting, because that's the difference. I guess paper bag, everyone, when they hear that, they get all scared. Let's call it something different, maybe, because just education is gonna help a great deal.
I don't know what you can call it that would be so different, because I mean, a rose by any other name is still a
Right.
rose. But I think that you're right, and there should be some education there. I think that,
Exactly.
sold.
you know, one of the things you say, if it only costs you 33 cents a thousand, I mean, that's a significant selling point, at least to me, you know, that,
Well, The other issue, I think, if we tie it to that one account, I mean, the number today is 245,000, right? This is gonna be an article that we're gonna push to the back of the warrant,
245, 230, and
Right.
18.
because, you know, that's where we'll take care of it. Any reductions going into town meeting would reduce the 245, right? Or, when the article comes up, someone could move to reduce it to 2 instead of 245.
That's correct, but you can't do
Right,
now.
that's right.
That's right.
If they ask you the amount
So,
of money in
I
that
think there's
article, you can't
certainly
go
some
up.
flexibility, and if it's marketed right, which is our responsibility, right? To do that, I think that we should get there. If not,
Yes, my question is, in reference to the area Doug was talking about, I've driven that several times, seen the signs, the littering punishable by Board of Selectmen. Have you checked to see how many citations, fines have been levied on people that have littered? I guess my question is, at this point, we can put up as many signs as we want, but do we have any enforcement?
we do have, Sean is taken a positive step towards trying to determine who that rubbish belongs to, and he is going to those people and is dealing with it. So all we can ask is that, you know, when we know that there is trash, that we don't just go remove it, we try to look at who's, and I think he's had a pretty high success rate.
Is he finding those are Waterboro residents, or is it out of?
Some of them may be out of town, but I think you'll find that there's a lot of water in towns.
And it depends, you know, on what the item is. You know, I mean, you're not gonna find a whole lot of clues on a tire discarded unless you have somebody that actually witnessed somebody discarding that tire.
Or they have correspondence in there with a name on it.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you
that's
generally don't
sometimes-
find that in a tire.
But I think you're right, it's an opportunity for us to step up that level of enforcement. as
And
well.
once the word gets out, you know, fine $100 for dumping a trash bag, I
Yep.
think people will get a little wise to it and start using the transfer station, hopefully.
Well, it's,
I wish Freddie was here, because Freddie, a number of times, he found trash, he found the people doing it, and he notified the selectmen and also the deputy sheriff, but nothing ever happened. John seemed to go that far and then stop.
I know for a fact that Sean has summoned a couple of people just recently as 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And it was between Sean digging through the trash and Tommy digging through the trash to find people, find names.
Comes down to having some community pride, just where you live. Throw it in
Okay.
my backyard than on somebody else's.
so, we've got a motion, any more discussion? All those in favor? All right, those are the marching orders for the town meeting, we'll see what happens. All right, committee appointments. We met this young lady the other night.
This is for the cemetery committee?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to appoint Shauna McLaughlin to the cemetery committee.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
I abstain, I didn't have the opportunity to interview her. so.
Old business, discuss vote on engineering proposal from Sebago Tech and CLD. Tom, leave.
Yes.
I think we're really talking about whether or not have scrubbed up any finding of money.
Mhm.
Right, so I think the general feel the other night was is that we take the higher, not the higher cost proposal, but the
Better
the
quality.
better quality proposal or the finished document so that we have a better shot of getting the grant. So,
And it was kind of almost a 2-for-1 deal, because at the same time they're looking at drainage issues for the sidewalk. They may also be able to give us some pointers that if we're not able to go with the sidewalk grant, at least we have some ideas on how we can hopefully
deal with drainage.
resolve some of those drainage issues. So it's extra bang for our buck.
And it,
So-
and as explained, it's one gets you to first base, the other one will get you to home
Right.
run.
Right.
So I take it that there are funds, you were able to find the funds.
How much is that proposal?
Well, the low end, Doug, was $1,000, and again, these were ballpark numbers, we didn't go out with a specific thing, but it's the deliverable that you're gonna get. For $1,000, we're gonna get, okay, some couple of days maybe, or a day and a half of engineering work, but there's really no substance to it. The other proposal was about, what,
$4,500.
$4,500, but I think that now starts to come into play with what we really need to substantiate the grant going forward, because the deliverable is gonna be a little higher quality. Didn't matter which firm did it, but it was really what we were looking at was, you know, do we go in on the cheap, so to speak, just so we can put a proposal in? Probably would be academic that we put the proposal in, whereas we can spend a little more money and actually have some meat to the proposal.
Are these both from the, did you get two quotes?
Yeah, we got one from each, one on the low end, one on the high end. I think Tom was going back to level the playing field. If in fact we decide we want the higher level of deliverable, he'd get a price from both, so.
The other people.
And one really is the town engineer, so. Just, I guess, present one. So
$5,000 was the number to get a proposal to go there. I mean, it had to be $5,000.
Yeah.
You can't squat for $1,000.
No.
So what's your pleasure here?
At least if you're an engineer.
I'll make a motion that we expend the funds to go with a higher quality study.
I'll second that.
Should we put a,
Not to exceed.
yeah, not to exceed on it? Like not to exceed
Not to
5,000?
exceed $4,500.
Okay.
Okay.
I think they have it on the bid that they
I think it was like 42 something.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you accept that amendment? Not
I
to
accept
exceed?
that amendment not to exceed.
All those in favor? Thank you. All right, discuss a vote on the warrant article. It's presented by Lake Arrowhead Conservation Council. Just so kind of put this in perspective, on April 5th, we received a request from Mike Fitzpatrick, representing the Lake Arrowhead Conservation Council, for $3,000 that would go toward the $40,000 that they are trying to raise as a match for the $40,000 grant that they have, as he spoke tonight. Town of Limerick has already granted their $3,000 from them. The issue is that this is outside of the charter limits for when a money article can be added to the warrant. So the words specifically say that the warrant for town meeting shall be closed to the insertion of money articles 90 days prior to the annual town meeting, right? And goes on and talks about non-money articles. Any articles received after these deadlines will need a unanimous vote of the selectmen in order to be considered for placement on the warrant. No article shall be allowed within 30 days, so we're longer than 30 days, but we need a unanimous decision of this board to put this $3,000 request in.
Dennis?
Yes?
I would, first of all, I think that this is a great project that this group has worked on. It certainly is in the town's best interest to make sure that the milfoil is controlled as well as possible there. We do have the conservation funds that are, there's $40,000. I know the EDC is asking for $10,000 for signs. This is absolutely a conservation effort, and I think that we could do this, take the motion at town floor to take the $3,000 out of the conservation fund. It doesn't impact taxes. It's going towards a conservation effort, and it gives the organization the money that they need to help them with their matching grants.
That's a good idea.
I would support that motion if it
So
were made.
the motion is to add this to, we need a motion to add this to the...
I'll make a motion that we add this to the town warrant,
Okay,
appropriation of $3,000 to come from the conservation fund.
I'll second that.
okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous vote of the board, so we'll add that to the warrant. All right. Which brings us to warrants and bills of payroll.
So moved.
All those
Second.
in favor? Vote to sign the minutes of 4/6, where
I wasn't here.
there was only the three of us. So,
So moved.
moved, seconded by John
Abstaining.
and Gordon, depending on how you sort that out. All those in favor of the three of us that were here? And the 4:13 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
I'll abstain from that.
All those in favor? Pending decisions, committee involvement, staff training, trainee policy, map 4113, weeds action list. Just let Mr. Fitzpatrick know that we're going to add the thing to the warrant. He should prepare to be at town meeting with some level of presentation. Any agenda items for next week?
Next week's a workshop.
Okay.
We do have planning board to report.
Okay. Anything else? Mind it?
Doug wants.
Yep.
Some years ago, we had an account, there was $30,000 in an account, $33,000 in an account. I've been trying to remember what the account was. But
That would be a good start.
It had to do with erosion, Ospey Lake,
Yeah.
erosion, control.
It was the.
All the grant money?
Right, that was the guy, Italian, right? He
The
was
town of Waterboro we put up a sum of money.
Right.
We spent like $6,000 of that money. Is there still money in that account?
I think we spent more than 6. Because there's been, the last project that was done was 2 years ago? Guess
When
whatever.
I was in office, we spent $6,000.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's been spent. I'm asking, was the account depleted?
I think the last project was $24,000. For some reason, 24 sticks, it was 20 or 24 that sticks in my head for some reason.
We can check into that. Make sure.
We had some matching funds. We appropriated money, there was matching money, and the only project that we had really done was the one up by Roger's, Logier's house, when we put that drainage down the side of that road. But,
And there's been a couple of projects done since then, right?
Yep.
One on Courtney Lane.
That was a different, that was not in the same funds.
No, I think our portion was out of the same.
Oh, it was?
We had some state or federal funds, because it was a soil conservation, right, that was,
Yes.
right.
I just noticed 2 places where there was a tremendous amount of erosion around Ospey Lake, and, it should be addressed.
There was a group that was finalized, and I think Mike was involved, right?
Yes, he was.
Because of- So we ought to at least, I'm not sure what's left there, but I don't think that, you're right, I don't think we should just walk away and say, well, we had a grant, and we don't have to worry about erosion in Ospey Lake anymore.
If you went on Logan Circle and into the Walt Fay Memorial Park, the second culvert in there has washed out, that road's washed out numerous times, and there's gravel headed right into Ospey Lake. And I know we don't work on private roads, but that has been an erosion problem for a long time, and that's what this money was set up for, trying to stop erosion into Ospey Lake, okay? And that certainly is one area that needs very serious work, and mostly needs a culvert replaced and a competent sized culvert put in there to handle the flow. And I would think that would fall under that grant. I just wondered if there was money left in that.
Oh, we'll have to check.
And Mike would know, because Courtney Lane was part of that
I'm
conservation.
trying to remember the guy's name out of Portland was Forrest.
But I don't think he's,
Forrest is no longer there.
no, he's not there anymore. And Logan Circle was on that list.
Right, but they still ran out of money.
Yes, I believe they ran out of money.
They ran out of money. I don't know if our part did, but
Oh,
they
I
ran out
see.
of money 2
Yeah.
years ago.
Right.
So let's at least see if there's anything left in that, and maybe we can get some interest from,
Especially the second.
And one thing to note just on that, Dennis, when you bring up Courtney Lane, with the 100-year storms we've had and the 500-year storm we've had, that road has stood up
Pretty well.
The
Three quarts of water into the lake.
3 quarts of water.
Yeah,
well,
That thing
you know,
you can put
and I'll
in
say
the
this,
full.
I think all of
The one that
the
he's built.
work, all of the work that was done on the roads after the Patriots Day storm 2 years ago, 3 years ago now,
Have
the
help.
work that was done on all of those roads to help mitigate and everything else was money very well spent. And those roads have held up very, very well.
We haven't lost one of them. You know, haven't lost a one of them. That's better than other towns have done,
Yeah,
by a lot, you know. So
but you just get the sand out of Rolling Denby's pond, maybe.
that's the shame. That really is a shame.
Okay? Let me read the reminders. Planning board tomorrow night here, 7 PM. Library trustees at the library, 7 PM. Cribbage tournament, 8:30. Saturday morning, transfer station committee Monday night, 6:30 PM. Informational reception for the comprehensive plan here at 7 PM Monday night. And we're back here again Tuesday night.
We probably should visit our year's goals. We haven't been there for some time.
Well,
too.
we got a workshop next week, we can tee that up. We'll stick that on there.
Just a reminder that the town offices will be closed at noon time on Thursday, but will reopen for normal business on Friday.
Any further discussion? I'd entertain a motion, John.
To
Adjourn.
retire,
adjourn.
I mean adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you.